All right, welcome. Today, we are diving into something that, let's be honest, trips up pretty much every single organization out there: how we measure performance. You think it's straightforward, right? But oh boy, getting it wrong isn't just bad, it can be an absolute disaster. We're going to break down exactly why that is, and more importantly, how you can actually fix it, using some fantastic ideas from an expert in this space, David Parmenter.
So let me just start by asking you this. Are the metrics you're using right now actually helping you win? Or are they secretly making things worse? It's a serious question. Let's look at a couple of real-world stories where good intentions went spectacularly wrong.
Okay, so picture this. You've got a city train service, and they want their trains to run on time. Totally reasonable goal, right? So they roll out this big new measure for on-time performance. And to make sure everyone takes it seriously, they attach some pretty hefty penalties for any driver who's late.
So what happened? Well, on paper, the on-time numbers started looking amazing. Management was probably thrilled. But there was a massive hidden problem. The drivers, desperate to avoid those penalties, figured out the fastest way to make up for lost time was to just skip stations. They just fly right past the platform, leaving a crowd of confused and angry passengers behind. The metric looked good, but the actual service, the entire point of running a train, completely fell apart.
And it's not just trains. Here's another one, and this time the stakes are so much higher. A hospital in the UK wanted to cut down on emergency room wait times, a truly vital goal. So they started measuring the time from the second a patient checked in at the front desk to the moment they were seen by a doctor.
The result was, it was genuinely horrifying. The staff, under immense pressure to hit their targets, started telling paramedics to keep really sick patients waiting in the ambulance. They wouldn't officially register the patient, starting the clock, until they knew a doctor was literally free to see them that second. So the metric was met, but patients in critical need were being left in a parking lot. These stories just perfectly show the core problem. Measuring the wrong thing is often way worse than measuring nothing at all.
So how in the world do we avoid these disasters? Well, the secret is understanding that not all metrics are created equal. We've got to peel back the layers of what we're measuring to find the things that truly drive performance.
And this is where things get really interesting, because here's the first big shocker for a lot of people. All those big, important-sounding numbers that every executive loves, I'm talking net profit, employee satisfaction, return on capital, guess what? They are not key performance indicators, not true KPIs.
So if they're not KPIs, what are they? Well, David Parmenter gives them a name: Key Result Indicators, or KRIs. And the difference is absolutely critical. KRIs tell you how you did. There's a final score in the game, perfect for a quarterly board meeting, but they're totally useless for telling the players on the field what to do differently tomorrow to actually win the next game. Let's build on that. Think about performance measures like an onion. On the very outside layer, you've got those KRIs, the big picture summary. You peel that back, and you find result indicators and then performance indicators. But right there in the center, at the core, that's where you find the real power, the true key performance indicators. These are the handful of things that tell your team exactly what to do right now to create a huge impact.
When you put them side by side, the difference is it's night and day. A KRI like net profit looks backward. It's the CEO's responsibility. But a true KPI tells a specific team what to fix today. They can look at it and know exactly what action to take. That's the game changer right there.
So you might be wondering, how many of these things should a company actually have? Parmenter suggests something he calls the 10-80-10 rule. You'll probably have about 10 of those big picture KRIs for the boardroom. Then you'll have a whole bunch, maybe 80 or so, of other operational indicators. But, and this is the most important part, you should only have about 10 true KPIs for the entire organization. That intense focus is what creates dramatic results.
Okay, enough theory. This all sounds great, but what does a really amazing KPI look like in the wild? Let's check out a classic case study that makes this whole idea just click into place.
Let's rewind to the 1980s. British Airways, they were in trouble, big trouble. Consultants came in and told them, forget everything else. You need to focus on one single thing: getting your planes to arrive and depart on time. Why that one thing? Because they realized it had this massive ripple effect on everything else: fuel costs, crew schedules, customer happiness, you name it.
So, what was their magic KPI?
It wasn't some boring monthly report showing an on-time percentage. That's a KRI. No. Their KPI was a live 24/7 feed on the company intranet that showed in real time every single plane that was currently late, exactly how late it was, and the name of the manager responsible. You see that? There was absolutely nowhere to hide. It was immediate, it was actionable, and the entire company could see it. This simple, relentless focus is what helps turn the whole airline around.
That British Airways story is just a perfect illustration of what a winning KPI looks like. Notice a few things here. They're usually not about money. They're measured all the time, daily, even 24/7. The CEO is actually looking at it. And most importantly, it tells a team exactly what to do, who's responsible, and it encourages the right kind of action, not the station-skipping kind. Okay, so now that we've seen what good looks like, we got to talk about the common traps people and companies fall into when they try to put this stuff into practice.
First things first, you've probably heard people argue endlessly about lead versus lag indicators, right? Well, Parmenter says, just forget about it. That whole debate just makes things more confusing than they need to be. I mean, think about it. Is a late plane a lead indicator or a lag indicator? Who cares? The only question that matters is, does this number tell my team what they need to fix right now?
And then there's how you actually show people the data. The design of your dashboard is so important. Data visualization expert Stephen Few points out all these classic mistakes we make. Trying to cram way too much onto one screen, using flashy charts that nobody can actually read, or just showing a number with no context so you can't even tell if it's good or bad. A terrible dashboard can make even a perfect KPI totally useless.
So, when you boil it all down, what have we learned? A true key performance indicator isn't just a number on a report. It's a communication tool, it's a spotlight that focuses everybody on the one thing that will make the biggest difference right now. So I want to leave you with a challenge to take back to your own world. What is the one measure, your version of late planes, that if you tracked it with that same relentless focus would completely transform your team's performance?